Hey, everybody. Good morning. Just reading the comments right now. Hi, Aggie. I don't know if Aggie's in here because she was chiming in at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
She was ready to
Hey,
go.
yeah, I know. Hey, Robin. Hi, Butterfly Effect. Hi, Maddie. Angel, I asked you a question, Angel. How long are you going to work on pulling all these weeds? You've been working on them for days. Hi, Just Me. So we'll wait a few minutes and get started. This whole thing has just been insane, and nobody can. Hi, Tina. And no one's, making heads or tails of it, really.
Right. Yeah. Yesterday just seemed like it was like a really long day yesterday in the group.
Yeah, I think we can sum it up pretty easily today.
Yeah.
The group was insane yesterday, Butterfly. We've just got too many people that are coming in that don't really understand the tune to our jukebox, if you know what I mean. I actually got tired and I tagged Brandy in a couple of groups and I was like, she can deal with it. She can deal with it in the Summer Wells group.
Yeah.
And in Hoax. I mean, in Summer Wells, she even said, I think I'm counting like 4 people that don't understand a discussion group. Because
Right.
what was Mindy Glade doing wrong at all?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. She I even read her caption, and her caption in no way whatsoever was being any type of way. In my opinion, she was literally posting those pictures for discussion, and 4 people immediately were on her ass trying to shut her down.
Hi, Squishy. We've been waiting on you. Were you changing your litter box? Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
And they were so hateful too. I was reading their comments because Mindy is honestly one of the nicest members that we have in all the groups. And
she goes out of her way. I mean, when someone in Davenport, Iowa, something happens to them, like she makes crosses, she paints rocks,
right.
She does all that stuff. Butterfly Effect. I'm in all your groups, I think. Well, I archived a couple of them, so hopefully we'll have some new ones soon. Well, I shouldn't say hopefully because that means something bad happens. What a rude thing. Oh my God, is that not a true crime person? Hopefully I get a new group soon.
Right.
All right, I'm going to mute my mic and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Let this still up a little bit. Hi, Snow. Hi, Poppy. Yeah, Brandy is seriously just waking up. And this is her day off. And I'm like, oh, wow. And you're doing this? Okay.
Yeah. I should have been up earlier, though. I can't believe I slept in past that appointment.
If you need your sleep, you need your sleep. Hi, Gabby. Yeah, I'm about to start my second pot of coffee. All right. Well, I'm going to get started. There's a few people on the nasty, nasty internet that don't really think that this thing about Sophie's a big deal at all. They don't think she's missing. They even go as far as to say she's just unaccounted for.
Which is funny. Didn't Mike say that she was missing at one point in the very, very beginning of all this?
Yes.
And that side had a complete breakdown over it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought so. Amazing how they just ride with whatever Mike says.
And he said nothing.
I'm sorry, this time what John says.
Well, it's ridiculous. And it turns out that John isn't even with them. So supposedly, yeah, Gabby, they were at the hotel. They weren't missing. They were under police protection, if that's what you're talking about.
Yes, yeah, at that time.
Yeah, that's certainly not missing. I mean, nobody.
Yeah, and now that she's actually missing, they're trying to say that she's not.
Well, I mean, who in here would be cool with not knowing where their child is?
Right?
It's one thing if, Michael is on good terms with Kelly and says, hey, we're going camping, we're going for the weekend. Forget about last Wednesday. Just pretend it didn't happen. 2 or 3 days turns into 5 days. You know what's going on.
Right.
But, I mean, from everything I'm hearing, he's violating a court order. He won't turn her over. So I don't know why that's not throwing up any sort of sirens for anyone. Butterfly effect. Isn't Will the only one saying John isn't with him? Yeah, supposedly he's been emailing with him.
And see, I actually didn't watch Will last night, so I only know what a few people have told me. I can't stand watching him.
It really, I don't understand it at all. Why you can't tell a mother where her child is. Why, when the courts say this is what you need to do, you just don't do it.
Well, because they're all in it together. It's all corruption. If from what I'm understanding is right, and that's what Will was saying last night, just from what I heard, secondhand, is that once again, Mike has been done wrong.
Uh-huh.
That his psych eval it did not come back favorably, but that's because the psychiatrist is also in on it. They also are in on this big O sex ring corruption conspiracy that's going on.
Hi, Miss Glass. Well, I mean, I don't understand how many doctors, attorneys, judges, psychiatrists is a doctor. I mean, how many people are in on this ring to keep him away from his daughter?
Right.
So, I mean, as of today, nobody knows where she's at. I know a lot of people, I mean, even in our own freaking group. Come on, people. We've been doing this a long time. The records are sealed. It's family court. There's no conspiracy. We actually have members requesting now that are hearing about Sophie in missing persons groups. I thought that was interesting. Did you see that yet, Brandy?
No, I haven't. I have not seen that part yet. I'm not surprised that it made it to them, though.
Yeah. And so anyone that says, oh, this is not a big deal, not serious. Hi, Good Egg. This is not a big deal. It's not serious. This man's unstable. This is the man that was rewriting the Bible. Okay, guys?
Right. Yeah.
He failed a psych evaluation. Now, if this email is correct, that went between another creator and his father, John, who, by the way, is not with them. It's just him and Sophie doing. They're the ones out on this trip. Supposedly, he took pictures of every page.
What the hell? That's just so unsettling.
Yeah, why? In case, you got to retest so you know the answers? I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
Either you're sane or you're not.
Oh, wow. Did you see what Maddie just said? I was talking to my mother because she's in Texas, and she said a majority of people there aren't worried, and it blows her mind.
Well, Texas is as big as a country. Do they even know what's going on? Because in all honesty, I mean, even when he had a group of 200,000, that's nothing in Texas.
Right.
A lot of them weren't even from Texas. I mean, parents that are in the same school system with the kids, I mean, they know something about a custody dispute. They don't know anything that's going on. It never hit the mainstream media like he thought. Katie Couric never went to the ranch to ask him, what was going on.
Right.
Everything that we have been fed for the last year is someone who knows someone.
Exactly.
Hi, KT. Thanks for that. She says, Maddie, I'm in Texas and close to Collin County. Haven't seen anything posted or talking about it from around here. I mean.
He's probably got that entire town around there, that entire county, to be honest, snowballed.
I just don't think there's an interest. Okay, Good Egg. At Crime Lines and Lies, I gathered that he was saying that the psychiatrist had changed his sane answers to not sane. More corruption.
I bet that's exactly what they did.
More corruption. Wow. Well, I think I would be contacting the medical board as opposed to scooting out of town with my daughter that I was supposed to turn over.
Yeah, and I like, it's not corruption. I mean, there's just not that many people against his dumb ass. And I don't see how any sane person can sit here and look at all of that and even think differently. Like, I don't get it. I honestly don't understand where their mindset is at to look at all of the facts and come back with corruption.
No, there's no corruption. Yeah, I don't think anyone changed the answers either, KT.
Yeah.
It's, he's been reaching and grasping straws for years. The father activist group actually makes the father activist group actually makes the most sense to me. Because these things aren't going to dig around in Long Hoax and all these other groups to find out what's really going on. God only knows what he has given them about what happened, or they're just taking his word. If I take her back, she's going to continue getting assaulted by Jake. They're trying to take her from me, and I'm trying to protect my daughter. Well, who wouldn't support that?
Right.
Without knowing. He was also taking selfies while he was doing the exam for his mental health.
Sounds about right. That sounds about Michael.
Yeah, I don't know where Tim lives.
Tim is located in Arizona too. I found that out yesterday through someone.
Oh, Tim does? Because he always said he lived in Maine. Well, that's like polar opposite of Arizona.
Right. Yeah. No, Tim is in Arizona.
Well, do you think Tim would help him out? I mean,
I honestly don't think so. I really don't. I really think that Tim is wholeheartedly on Courtney's side. because Tim also hates Kelly. But I don't know. Tim and Courtney have this weird closeness thing that's going on, which is why I think that Courtney is kind of backpedaling on a lot of her things because she's trying to keep a little fine line of support with Tim as well. I got to thinking about that yesterday because when it first came out, with when she was talking to Kaylee and Kaylee, released all that and she was saying that she did not believe that Sophie had been sexually abused. Well, all of a sudden, now that she's back in Tim's group and stuff, she's completely backpedaling on that and trying to avoid answering it at all. And I think that's because of Tim.
Oh, I think so too, because he wants to protect her. Because let's face it, the GoFundMe was in Courtney's name. Yep. Just to recap, it raised over $200,000.
Courtney was behind all of it. That's why I will never cut her any slack ever.
I don't know for a fact that she's really helping out Kelly. I mean, what she's doing is helping out Kelly, so we want that to continue.
But if she is still sitting there saying that she believes Sophie, then she's not helping Kelly.
Well, because someone told her to continue that.
So, which would most likely be Tim. That's where I think where it falls back on the Tim part.
Because she's going to have to keep saying that she believes Sophie for all intents and purposes.
Right, because if she doesn't, it's going to come out. Right, she has to take full accountability of her actions otherwise.
And how do you come back from that anyway?
I honestly, in my opinion, I don't think you can. I just don't.
When you know that you profited almost $500,000, I'm rounding up, obviously.
Yeah.
And, you
saw one of those screenshots yesterday. Remember where I circled? Where Courtney admitted that he had taken out $30,000 and he said it was for Jamie, yet she never saw a receipt. And Jamie never confirmed it. So there's $30,000 right there that's not accounted for, and she never said anything until now.
And like I said yesterday, I'm not an accountant, but there's a lot of money missing because what she produced does not add up to the number they got.
Right.
Gabby, probably they still have mutual friends. Does ML have time to produce SL? Absolutely he does. He can go to the nearest police department. He can call the police himself right now and say, this is where we're at. He's refusing to do so. He has a defiant personality. What what all of us answer to doesn't affect him.
Exactly. He does not play by normal rules. He plays by his own rules.
Yeah, he has no time for society, for government. Not saying anyone likes the government. We don't want them involved in anything we do, right?
Right.
Yeah, we don't want that. But I mean, he's an extremist. He has been for quite some time. So yesterday, Katie posted in the group that she pressed Courtney. And she wants to get to the bottom of this. And I know a few people seem like they're a little irritated with Katie. She gave yet another chunk of her earnings to Kelly yesterday. She donated $1,000 to Kelly's attorney. She did it right there online. She showed the receipt. I saw part of it. And I don't know about the rest of you guys. She doesn't know Kelly. We'll probably never meet the woman. But to part with $1,000 out of your household, however she made it, whether it's from Sophie or whatever, I think that kind of disputes what people are saying about how she's doing this just to get subs.
I do agree with that right there. Because I haven't really seen anybody donating any money towards it whatsoever when they're talking about her. And I'm trying to figure out how to say this without sounding really offensive.
Girl, you know better than that.
But when it comes to the group, just I was irritated yesterday just because while I do understand a lot of things, just sitting there, we're still going to discuss Courtney in there, or I am. And I'm going to be very vocal about my feelings because that's just how I am.
Well, what's wrong with discussing Courtney?
Well, I'm not sure, but apparently it's drama and we don't need to be doing that. And we should all be focused on finding Sophie. And I said it yesterday in the group, and I'm trying not to be offensive, but there's honestly, we're not going to be able to find Sophie ourselves.
Yeah, I'm not hightailing it on
there's nothing
County in the Escalade to look around for them. I don't even know what they're driving.
Right. Exactly. And there's nothing in that group. It's a private group. It's a discussion group, and it's still going to go the way it's always went, and that's discussing things in the Long hoax case because it is a hoax, and Courtney is 50% to blame for all of this.
Well, I've said for a long time, someone, planted the seeds and someone watered them. I shouldn't even say seeds because, you sprinkle seeds and pat them down. But in this case, somebody got a backhoe and planted a oak tree in this girl's mind.
Yep.
Because I believe that she believes it. Even when the forensic child psychologist said she can't believe anything this child says.
Right.
Can't believe it.
And even Courtney herself, in one of those screenshots, admitted to saying there is no physical evidence. There's no evidence that this happened.
I'm reading it right now. She was called out yet again. I'm reading the screenshot.
Yep.
It says right here, she said, I still have no idea what happened while they were up all night. I wasn't there. Well, she was there. She just didn't know they were communicating back and forth on their phones.
Right.
But he also acted confused when I didn't understand why. I guess she was too tired for classes. I was trying to work on that with her. She misses a lot of words. She must do talk to text or something. So it doesn't seem innocent, but I just don't know. Well, she doesn't know now, but she damn sure knew a few months ago when she paraded into court.
Right.
So she was challenged. There is no evidence this happened. None. She said, I understand there's no physical evidence. I don't really want to talk about it.
Exactly. That right there speaks so many volumes.
I don't want to talk about it. I respect Katie. I really do for using her platform. I do. I think Kelly trusts her. I respect her for donating $1,000 to Kelly last night. It's not like you can just say, no, that was a mistake. And no lawyer's going to give that back to her. So don't even go there. Because some people are like, oh, she'll get that right back. I'm like, no, no. Not when it goes to a law firm, people.
Right.
She parted with that $1,000. Okay. But no, I'm not going to make Courtney into any kind of hero.
Exactly.
She sat right next to him over and over and over, talking to 10 to Life, talking to The Glare, talking to Dad Podcast, anybody that would give them the time of day. None of it made sense. I didn't even watch one of them. Like I said, I was just told by all of you guys. Hey, Jeeper.
Yeah, I would say I don't think I've ever watched a full one either. I've seen clips.
Yeah, I can't do it. And my thing is, does Mike even have a driver's license? Because as I said,
I saw people saying no.
I've been hearing that for a year. He doesn't have one. Hi, Gina. So who's driving? Is Sophie driving? Trust me, nothing's out of the realm. Nothing is out of the realm. Because John is saying he's not with them. If this email's true, I haven't seen a copy of it. Nothing was shown. You know, some YouTubers are like, well, I need receipts. You've got to show me. But then when they're asked, they're like, well, I don't need to produce anything.
Right. Oh, I'm sure when it comes out she's missing, that Will be saying he wasn't played. He was just playing along.
Squishy says that he has a valid Arizona driver's license. Well, then he can drive anywhere in the United States. Just for some reason, he chooses to be chauffeured around. Okay.
That sounds like Michael.
Maddie, doesn't Michael have a new girlfriend that is with them? According to her, no.
Just because she would be able to be located quickly. But I do think she knows where he's at. I do believe she's like full on a part of this.
Just tell the mom where they're at. Just tell Kelly.
Well, in the beginning, that's what she was supposed to do, remember? It was a setup. It was all for Kelly what she was doing.
If he legally lives in Texas, how can he have a legal Arizona driver's license? I don't know how that works. Usually you have 30 days to change it. I know right now it takes forever to get an appointment at the DMV to get your out-of-state license changed. But he's been there a lot longer. Garudas don't drive. That's right. And the no physical evidence, I figured after the Zoom hearing that they had last September, it was September 3rd. I think the whole video is still posted in the group. Anyway, Judge Wheelis she made it known that all of these exams they're going to be discussed. That doesn't take that long. So I'm going back to the case in Florida where the little girl told her grandma what Argelia was doing to her, that her mother knew about it. It wasn't a year-long drawn-out process. They knew within hours, and those two were arrested and put in jail. Now, let me tell you a story. It's funny, but not funny. I was arguing with another woman, and I used that case as an example. She goes, well, I'll just tell Michael he ought to take her to Florida. Who the hell says that? To be looked at by another doctor? Yeah, he probably renewed it online. Just me, I think that might be what's going on. If he's got these underground people in these different fathers groups, which are important, and they're taking his word for it. Don't think for a minute I'm saying that fathers don't have rights or shouldn't have rights, or he shouldn't have rights to Sophie. Because, once everything gets put in place, hopefully everybody plays by the rules. But the fact that he's hiding her, and that's all it can be. Unaccounted for doesn't make any sense to me. She's a child. An adult can be unaccounted for. If I don't show up to work and my boss is calling me, I'm unaccounted for. They don't know where I'm at. Did I just, no call, no show? Am I sick? Am I at the doctor? They don't know. But a child's a totally different story. There is no reason for a child to be unaccounted for. It reminds me of what happened in the Cash Gurdon case. His father had Cash and Carter. His father had some other issues going on. He had some warrants, stuff like that. And he took the twins, 2 twin boys, to girlfriend, friend, I don't know, Monica. And he went about his merry way. His mother would not tell their mother where they were at. Wouldn't tell the grandmother. CPS would do nothing because it was basically civil, right? Because he's the father. He has every right to have the boys. He has every right. That's how it is. So, in this process, in this nasty house that Monica lives in, and with all her meth dealings and everything like that, a person that she allows in and out of her house killed Cash. Now, I'm not saying it's going to get this extreme, but that's what we're dealing with. He has a right to have his child. But there's no reason why Kelly shouldn't know where her daughter is. And I don't understand at all why anyone thinks this is not a big deal with all of his grandiose, crazy ideas, his threats, the way he has manipulated and weaponized the family court system. Why no one thinks this is not serious? Yeah, the driver's license. I mean, if he's got an Arizona driver's license and he's punting around Texas in one of his parents' cars, I don't think he has a car. I mean, when I moved to New York, I didn't change my license for almost a year. I mean, that's not the end of the world. I could care less about his license. Good egg. For a person under 18 to be reported missing in Texas, the first criteria is that the custodial parent or guardian does not know their whereabouts. Okay, so who's custodial? Is he the custodial parent, or did they have 50-50? Because I know basically when she went down there for Labor Day, I mean, like I said, we're going on a year. He basically just didn't give her back. I don't know how he got that done. I'll never understand it. So who has all the rights? Does he have full custody? Because, I mean, I thought this was still a process. Does anyone know for sure what's the custodial arrangement? Hi, Kaylee. Okay. Good. Josh Powell in Washington. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Solo. Bernie's house down with his sons after losing custody. Yeah, he went nuts. They still haven't found Susan Powell's body. Probably never will. If anybody wants to grab the link and come up and chat, they can. But as far as Courtney not knowing where she's at, Courtney has no rights. You know, Courtney's a stepmother. They're going through a divorce. Just Me says, I think if the judge signs an order for removal, then the person he put her with does. Well, but I mean, if this email exists and he's really emailing YouTubers, not going to say who, then why can't they get on the phone with the police and put the end to all of this? This is where they're at. They went to Arizona. They went to see her uncle. They're at Schlitterbahn. You know, they went to a water park, whatever. You know, why keep anyone guessing? And I don't mean us. I mean her mother. Hi, sweet Lilith. Hi, Pam. So what do you guys consider when you're talking about a minor child, the difference between missing and unaccounted for? You know my thoughts. Adults are unaccounted for. An adult can disappear. A child, no. Everyone knows where kids are. Yeah, you're right. Just roll with it. He was supposed to take Sophie to a family member, family friend, something like that, and just didn't do it. It's not the first time it's happened. I mean, he's done this before. I mean, she's been with him since last Labor Day when they were working on visitation, custody, reunification, going through these insane accusations between Jake, between the foreman in the hotel room that assaulted her. I mean, all of it has been crazy. I don't know how Kelly is doing it. I don't know how Kelly keeps a sane mind and gets through her day. I really don't. My thought is that missing means they have legally been reported missing. And there's a missing persons report. And people saying, well, anyone can file that. No, I can't call and say that Brandy's missing. I can't do that. I would be in a lot of trouble, guys. If I call right now and say Brandy's missing for whatever reason, no. But was him taking her to the family member for a visitation weekend or to give her up completely, because there's a huge difference and could define if SL is missing or not, just given a visitation. From what I've been told, he was court ordered to take her there. That was either, I don't know if it was for Kelly to pick her up for visitation, which Kelly is absolutely should not be denied visitation, or if this was part of the process where she was going to stay there while they begin reunification. And whether Courtney's doing this out of like regret for her part in this, or Courtney is trying to help Kelly, I don't know. Okay, Butterfly Effect says a third party. I think we need to keep in the back of our minds how Courtney participated in this hoax, because all of this was planned way before that video went out. That was not some impromptu video that he just took with her having a fit. And I know lots of parents, they record the exchange, they do that. Okay, it's sick, it's sad, but they have to. Kaylee says, they met the legal criteria. I was told then Casey mentioned FBI involvement due to leaving the state before anyone. Okay. I believe this 100%, Good Egg. Based on a few things we do know, the family member is part of the transition plan to reunification. And guys, remember in this case, we've talked about this, for like almost a year, when people say, well, I need to see the documents. I need to see this. I need to see that. You're not going to. They're sealed. Every little bit of communication we get. Morning, Kaylee. Everything.
Okay.
Hi, honey. Everything.
I'm so glad that I caught the live.
I'm so glad you're here. Everything we get on this case is someone talking to someone who comes out and is being honest and truthful, or just telling us what's going on. It's not going to be covered on the Today Show.
Yeah. Lisa's been replying to like a lot of people's questions and comments, and she's been clearing like a lot of stuff up, but it's like digging through stuff to find all of her replies. Mm-hmm. And if somebody did see like Sophie or Michael out, ring the police straight away in your state, or like specifically in your state, actually. Don't go wasting your time ringing the number on the poster. Just ring the police in your state, and they will come straight out. And Lisa said they will remove Sophie from Mike's custody, but she can't elaborate why or go into detail. Also, I did get obviously Courtney saying about FBI involvement, which I don't know, because no one's said that. But then Glera did do his live, and he said about them leaving the state. So maybe, I don't know, but Courtney said it way before Glera's live, like a couple of hours beforehand in the morning. So I don't actually know if it's true, because obviously her one post was true and accurate, the big one that she did, but she's not always credible. So
yeah, but that post, I mean, I don't even want to go back a few months. Basically what I'm saying is we keep in the back of our mind what she did, how she participated. Right now, Sophie's missing, and it's just been insane. I don't understand why people aren't taking this more serious. Do you have any idea?
I do know that it's in it. So one good thing is because of Katie's lives that has happened, now a lot of missing persons groups have shared this poster in the missing persons group, and it's in a lot of groups and surrounding areas, like from Mike's state to next door state and like that. So it is being spread. I just don't know why this community hasn't helped more like other people.
Yeah, it was funny because I was saying earlier in the show that a lot of like new member requests we're getting. It'll say, "How did you find this group?" or whatever. And
I know. Sorry, I went and told people to join it in Katie's live last night. So
no, it's fine.
said,
No, it's fine. No, a
Yeah,
lot of them
sorry.
say it's from a missing persons group.
Oh, really? Oh, because Lola, she went and posted it in because she's actually like connected in like a lot of the missing persons groups,
Mm-hmm.
and she's in loads of them. She asked for it to be posted and posted it. That's good.
Well, that is good. It needs to be taken serious. But I mean, I really think someone's hiding them. If it was easy as being with his brother, they could easily call the police in that area. Don't think that, Kelly hasn't thought of that. They go, "Is she here?"
Yeah, I think they're having help from the group that always like go on about the father's rights and the other crap, and they're just like always trying to prove corruption. That's who I think's helping him.
Well, there's no corruption. They've had how many judges, how many doctors?
Yeah.
Can we even start to count how many people? We're talking people that don't want to lose their law license, people that don't want to lose their medical license. Judges don't want to get unseated. Why would all of these people work together for one little girl?
Yeah, it's crazy. But there's always going to be, I don't know if this is the right word, but there's always going to be some wacko on Facebook that thinks everything's corrupt and they need to expose everything. And that's literally, Mike's just got lucky and fallen into the hands of those idiots. They got nothing else going on. Like they're trying to prove corruption and all this other stuff. And they're not that relevant. And I think he's literally just met up with like some other people that are just as insane as him.
It takes a lot more than a Facebook post to prove corruption.
Mm-hmm.
People need to get in their right minds for once.
It only had like a few interactions as well. And then it was like, there you go, Michael. Like it didn't make any sense. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't think they are thinking logically. Like I really don't.
No. Good Egg has a point here. Did you see his civil case? This would be a conspiracy spanning multiple states and hundreds of people and dozens of institutions, all conspiring to ruin Mike's day. Yeah, when I saw Oklahoma Department of Transportation, do you guys even know what that whole thing is about?
I don't even have a clue, honestly. I just know that I feel like Mike's completely lost it at the moment, like lost the plot. Like from what I do know, he has completely lost the plot because he's always been like oh, he wants to run for sheriff or he wants to show corruption, and now it's turned into way worse of a situation. Now he's saying like some really wild things. Like I'm not even gonna repeat them. They're like scary, they're wild, like he's completely lost it. He is unhinged.
Because he's one of those people. He's got that defiant, anti-society personality. Like I said, what we do in the morning or whatever time you go to work, whatever time you get up to be productive members of society, that doesn't apply to him. This is the guy that was up all night watching child abuse videos on YouTube to coach his daughter.
Yeah. He actually, Sophie watched some of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So messed up.
I mean, it's absolutely sick. And Good Egg, you're right. The whole Oklahoma Department of Transportation is because he was accusing an uncle of Kelly's who lives in Oklahoma of sexually abusing Sophie. So we've got Uncle Dan. Hi, Meow. Jake. The 4 people in the hotel. So that's 6 that we know of. It's like we were saying in the Summer Wells case, lightning doesn't strike twice often. In his mind, it struck 6 times. And he's gotten his daughter to believe it.
Like, I noticed as well, like with the dad, I think Michael actually gets a lot of his behavior from his dad, but also he's suffering with mental health problems, and he suffers from paranoia and delusions all the time. Like the angels, like he actually has delusions. Like, it's dangerous. Like, he's got nobody around him that he takes any notice to, like his mom, his dad. There's not one person that speaks any sense into this man.
Well, I mean, I've been saying it for a long time, and I said it yesterday. Yesterday was the first time we ever covered this case on here. I didn't really think there was a reason to. Nothing was going on. Now something's going on. But to me, he looks at Sophie other than his daughter. I don't mean like he looks at her like a girlfriend or a wife, but when he says things to her, and these are recorded, when he's like, "Can you please spread your angel wings for me?" And I mean, just crazy stuff. And we're going to build a garden out of crystals. And I mean, he thinks she's some sort of different being other than his human daughter. It's
weird.
Strange.
Some people say, "Oh no, he's just a loving and doting father." Like, no, that's concerning. Like, that is really, really concerning for a child to hear, because they're gonna know that there's something wrong with their dad. Children can pick up on stuff as well. You could even tell by Sophie's voice, she felt uncomfortable on that recording. She didn't even know how to respond to her own dad. She's like, for a lot of people that do have parents that are mentally ill or are schizophrenic, or there's something wrong with your parent. And I feel like Sophie does know that her dad's ill.
And she's playing into it because she feels sorry for him, maybe.
Mm-hmm,
or she liked getting all the attention. She liked him telling her that Taylor Swift was going to be at her birthday party.
I honestly believe that is, at this point in time, he's managed to actually fully convince Sophie that everything that happened to her really happened to her. And I think he did it with all that stupid nonsense and the sand and the rocks. And I think he's honestly manipulated her for hours and hours on end.
Oh, because
you won't remember. You'll think that you're asleep, but what's happened is this has happened. Like, that's how I think, honestly, it started. Because how can Sophie go from saying to Courtney that she was not abused, full stop, and telling the nurses and everything that she wasn't abused, to then the video happened, the viral video, the day that was recorded. She spent, obviously, the night with Mike. They stayed up really late. And then she's ready for the video and saying all that stuff. Like, that shows serious manipulation and pattern. It's like almost Michael's went to her and said, "Well, if you don't do what you need to do today, so I can put it online and get help, Sophie, you're going to be stuck there. And I'm not going to see you anymore. They're taking away my parental rights."
Yeah, and plus he was gone for a year. She knew she didn't see her daddy for a year. She knows.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Apple of his eye. She can't be held responsible for that, right? She's a little girl. Her mind is not fully developed. All she knows is what he's putting in there.
Because it's like almost Sophie played up to Michael and would go along with what he wanted to say, but she wasn't actually delivering when it mattered, Sophie, for Michael, because then they would take her to a doctor's appointment for a SANE examination, and Sophie would point blank say, "No, I haven't been abused." Then she would speak to the ad litem at court, and she'd be like, "No, I haven't been abused." So something changed on that final thing when that video was recorded, when Mike was losing his parental rights. It's like he really went to her and explained everything. Like, "I'm going to lose you. I'm never going to be able to see you." And then it's just all amped up. And I honestly feel like Mike and Courtney are both together. Like, I hold them both responsible, like, massively, because when you're stood there and telling a child to run back and forth crying, come on, Sophie, you got to get in the car. Come on, Sophie. And she's literally doing a performance and getting herself more and more worked up. Like, she's going to end up really believing it in her head. It's just a head fuck for her completely. And sorry for swearing. I know it's like daytime.
It's okay.
It's like, get too passionate. Like, it's complete head fuck for a child.
It is a head fuck. It is. And who does that to your child? Because you're mentally unfit to take care of your child. You know, has he ever paid child support to Kelly? In that year that he decided to go find rocks and shit, did he pay a dime for?
No, and I see, I'm almost certain that Kelly has been paying Mike child support this entire time.
Oh, you know
and
that.
He's never, ever, ever, ever paid it before. And she already provides her medical insurance, like healthcare and everything like that. He's not done anything for Sophie or the boys.
No, he hasn't, because he does not march to the same drummer as the rest of society. He's exempt in his mind.
Yeah.
Something happened to him. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe when Sophie was born, I don't know. I mean, years
if
ago,
I didn't believe in the government or the police or things like that, I damn sure wouldn't say I'm going to run and be a police officer. I'm going to be a sheriff. Like, that shows, like, there's a pattern here. Like, he's seriously lost it.
But he wants a trophy wife. Does he know what a trophy wife even means? That's someone that is going to the salon, making sure your house is gorgeous, having lunch with the friends, on your arm when you go in public. And I mean, they're the trophy.
I honestly, and I know a lot of people don't like Courtney, okay, but Courtney, in comparison to who he's choosing to be with now, is a trophy wife, because she would do all the cleaning up in the day, take care of all the kids. He wouldn't have to lift one finger with them kids. And she would always be doing decoration hacks around the home, trying to have it nice and stuff like that. Whether Courtney's a piece of shit or not, sorry, I'm going to have to mute because I don't want to make loads of noise for you. My partner's home. One moment.
And no, she's right. He wants a trophy wife now. He wants to run for sheriff, and he actually wants sister wives. Sister wives, guys. Who wants to be Michael's sister wife? This is the guy who says he's basically a degenerate. He can't even pay for his own divorce. When he went to file, I mean, I have the receipt posted in there. It shows clearly that he didn't pay for any of it. And then he went to Whataburger. You can tell he got enough for himself. He didn't bring anything back for Sophie. He didn't bring anything back for trophy wife, Alyssa, for his parents. I mean, come on. These ideas, these grandiose ideas, they're insane. They're just truly insane. And there are tons and tons and tons of jobs in Texas. Tons. Why can't he just go to work? I'm not saying it's going to have to be a job that he loves and he can't wait to get up in the morning and go, but he can do something. Kelly has done it this entire time.
I did actually, sorry about the noise. I actually did speak about Mike's job. He made out to other people that he got all the jobs that he got when he was with Kelly, and that wasn't even the case. Kelly was supporting him financially throughout their relationship and got him the jobs. So Mike left Kelly and then never worked again. And that's how it went.
Because Kelly's going to make sure he's responsible in the home.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I do have a question. So
yeah.
I can't remember word for word what was said in the email by John, but it was something along the line about the psych evaluation. Can you remember what was said word for word? it was like biased or something like that. That's what he said.
It was biased and basically part of another corrupt system, which I guess is good that he's suing Governor Abbott of Texas. And that he took pictures of every page as he was doing it, and something alluding to they changed his answers.
Oh my God. I really do think he's like, I really feel, and I know like you shouldn't diagnose people online, but I really do feel like Michael is suffering with the beginning stages of like schizophrenia or something like that, because he's very paranoid, and that's honestly what schizophrenic people will do. They will make situations up in their head and see things that ain't happening in front of them. And if that man will have seen him twitching and trying to pull out a phone and saying, oh, answers have changed and stuff like that, and he's completely imagining it, having an imagination that something's happened that hasn't happened, like, he needs to be sectioned and he needs help. Like, he's completely ill.
He's
I just
42
can't.
years old, so I'm kind of wondering when this started. When did this spiral? Now, we've witnessed the spiral the last year, all right, guys? And it's been crazy. It's been a roller coaster you would have never imagined. But I'm wondering, before any of us knew about Michael, Kelly, Sophie, before that, we've heard some stories of what went on. I wonder when his rocker really, when he went off of it. Because his age would be good to know. 42 years old to suddenly get schizophrenia and suddenly start having this paranoia doesn't really make sense. And I don't think it's...
Yeah, I just look at him, like, the strange things that he's been saying. I think this has gone, like, untreated for, like, a really long time. Like, I don't know why, but I read the stuff about the angels and, like, the delusions, but I just seen Good Egg. It could it could be something else. I just don't think... I think this has been going on for a long time, and he's been having these paranoia thoughts, and there's just something not right. For years, in fact, that's what I think. I honestly feel like he's gotten into a relationship with Kelly, and he's been at that age where mental health problems are more to come out in men. Like, he's the right age and everything.
Yeah, because his first marriage, and by the way, that woman was beautiful. And also, I can't get over his parents, how they have no issue with him constantly trading in one for another. Because Alyssa's going to be number 4. Mark my words.
Yeah, Pam, that's true what you said about schizophrenia people have periods of time where they are totally normal. Then after each episode, they decline. Yeah, in the first stages of schizophrenia. And when I say the first stages, like a good majority of years, like that happens. And only when Mike gets into his late 40s, 50s, is he going to deteriorate where he's going to be like, he can't hide it, he can't make excuses for it, he can't talk himself around it. And even like people like my dad, he knows not to say certain things. Like, I don't know, I just see patterns and behaviors that are really similar with the paranoia and the delusions.
Well, if Will really has this email from John, that email kind of shows the same thing, because his father buys all this. He believes that because Jake has family in law enforcement, that's the reason he got away with abusing Sophie, which we know he didn't. He believes in this corrupt system. He believes all these people are against them. And when you believe everybody in the room hates you or has some kind of personal vendetta against you, there's something wrong, guys. There's really something wrong. And it's not healthy for her to be out with him, especially since she's probably playing the role of the parent right now because he's not well. She is more than likely just telling him what he wants to hear, so everything's okay. And I've got my own conspiracy theories. Don't get me going on some things, but this is insane. And there is no reason, no one can produce one reason why Kelly should not know where her daughter's at. Okay, sweet Lilith. Let me see. There is many disorders that can come by being triggered. You didn't know where and when, and combined with alcohol and other stuff. Yeah, there's been a lot of reports that he definitely, he might drink, does drugs. We've heard a lot of stories about drugs. And again, I don't know why his parents are putting up with that. These are elderly people. They're not spring chickens by any means. How do they not know what's going on their own property? I don't understand that at all. Hey guys, what's going on in chat? Y'all having a bad morning or what? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, like the page if you want to join the group, whatever, but I don't know what you guys are fighting about. Snow, does anyone know what ML's mom and dad are saying? They've taken down their social media. Supposedly there's an email between another YouTuber and John, which is Michael's father, who, by the way, is not with them. He says he's not, if this all really was put in writing. And I'm trying to read that real quick. Basically, they're saying they know where they're at and they're fine. They're fine. Oh, thanks, Good Egg. I just saw a couple things. Hi, Audie. If anybody wants to hit the link and come up and chat, we can. Because, the thing is, I don't understand why people want to suddenly make Courtney out to be some kind of hero. Either she's saving her ass, or she truly has had some kind of come to Jesus aha moment, and she's trying to help Kelly. I really hope.
I think her main agenda behind everything is, and she's been open about this, is she point blank doesn't want Michael to have any custody or access to Phoenix. So she has her own agenda. Also, she's not a credible person. She has lied many times before, and that's me being nice, because she's a pathological liar and she manipulates people, and she sat there and made up lies before. So
what I've never understood about Courtney, with all of these crazy stories that came out, okay, whether it was Jake, especially the foreman in the hotel, as a woman, does she not understand her own anatomy? As I said yesterday, if I was assaulted by 4 grown men, I would be in the hospital. I would have to have immediate medical attention. I would have to have something. I would have to have some stuff looked at, okay?
Yep.
And as a woman, she knows that. Who could even go along with this?
And she changes her tune as well. It's like she hasn't got. Sorry, I'm really bad. I don't want to swear loads today, but she hasn't got the balls to stand up and be like, do you know, Annie, she wasn't essayed. Sophie never. She wouldn't. She doesn't say what she says over to people on this side directly to Annie or Tim or anybody else. Instead, she actually sticks to the full script and pushes her agenda, except from the only thing that's different is Mike's an arsehole, but Mike's none of the stuff that we claim him to be. Because then she would have to own up to her being a shitty person for even allowing that man to be in a home with kids.
you know, and I go back to what happened between her and Michael. She has told these stories about how he abused Phoenix. You know, we've all heard about the accusations made against his other children. And she didn't put the brakes on anything until he replaced her with another model. Prove me wrong.
Yeah. Because obviously so I have a message like, and it's been posted in the Long Hoax now, but she claimed 3 incidents of abuse that happened, like in front of the children or to the children or directly to her. So one was right after Annie's live because he was angry at something she said. And I'm not going to say, I don't believe her DV story. I don't believe this. I don't believe that, because I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to get into that. I do believe Michael hits the children. Like, I've been told by another person that that's true as well. I speak to the lady. She's an elderly lady and she lives next door to Michael. And she often looks after Sophie and they mow the lawn and things like that because obviously they've got loads of land. So I know certain things like that Courtney is saying is true. Michael is definitely physical with the boys mainly, and then Sophie as well. So
that doesn't quite
some
go
of what
well
she's
with
saying is true, but it's like, well, then why wouldn't you go get the kids help? Like, if a toddler gets smacked in the face, you don't stay there until the very last minute until he moves his new girlfriend in and then finally speak out about it, because then you're allowing your child to be abused in that home and still making it work between you both. You're both living there. She stayed there for a long time after that happened. Her mum was even banned from the property. So what does that say about you, Courtney? That's what, like, hello, light bulb moment.
Exactly. He's been described by people, he's a manipulator. So when people describe him as someone who never gets mad, it's because he knows how to gaslight. He knows how to be that person when he needs to be to get his way. Again, what applies to all of us doesn't apply to him in his mind. This is a guy, when it comes to earning money for his family, supporting his children, it's just something on the menu. It's kind of take it or leave it. He doesn't give a shit. Doesn't apply to him.
Mm-hmm.
And
like,
there's
I don't know about
knowing
over
he's an able-bodied 42-year-old man letting this go on.
Do you have anything over there, say if a child's assaulted and there's 2 parents in the home or whatever, there's 2 adults, and you see that child get assaulted and you don't report it or you don't do something to, like, step in and protect the child, like report or
That's a
remove
crime.
the child from the home, yeah, it's a crime over here. So that's why I don't understand, like, Courtney obviously isn't thinking clearly, because that's not something you would go out and send over to a YouTuber like me who she knows is going to take that within a second and screenshot it and put it, like, I do not like Michael. So why would she even want that public?
She could definitely get in trouble for that.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
mean,
GoFundMe as well. Like, okay, so she sent me a lot of stuff about this GoFundMe and all the other ways he got money, like sent through different things. She has a problem. She can't legally do anything to Michael for over that situation with the GoFundMe money, because up until they separated, she knowingly helped him do GoFundMe fraud and helped him remove the money from accounts and from wherever it was sent and transferred over and directly take it out in cash. And I've got that in deposits. They would go and take out 30k, 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 and only 150 odd £1,000 ended up going where it was actually meant to go, to the attorney's office.
well, and
So Courtney would be legally held responsible for that. They'd be like, well, if it wasn't for you, Courtney, taking Michael and going to the cash point and doing whatever you're doing inside the bank with the check and all this other stuff and giving him the money, you're responsible for that money when it leaves the bank or when it leaves your hands.
Not to mention it's in her name.
Yeah, exactly. Like, without Courtney, Michael couldn't have got his hands on that money. He can't go into the bank and withdraw that amount of money. He can't go in there and get any money from her bank account. He needed her every time. There's pictures that she sent me where they're sat driving. They're driving all in a car. There's a few of them. And there's pictures of all the checks. Like, they're literally driving to cash the checks and do stuff. And then they transferred money over to family members' accounts, and the money was withdrew in straight cash.
Well,
and she just never seen it again.
And he's on everything she's on, because Michael has wrecked how many bank accounts now? He has no credit. So he's a co-signer on her checking account, or was. He can't get a checking account.
Yeah.
He's got to deal all in cash. You can't trust him with any sort of bank. You can't.
It's crazy.
And also his father was on it. So I'm thinking a lot of this money was saved up by his father, who is A-okay with what he's doing. A-okay with what he's doing. I'm sure these grandparents love their grandchildren. Well, they love one because they're not in a hurry to see the boys. Are they
They're
saying,
not interested in seeing Phoenix either.
yeah, where's Jack? Where's Lucas? Where's Phoenix? No. But they are hell-bent on making sure he keeps Sophie. And I don't get that.
Yeah, if Sophie's being abused, then you wouldn't want her brothers to go home and be abused. Like, that's obvious. That's how you know that this whole thing is full of shit, because the fact that they were comfortable to allow the boys to go home and wanted them to go home and didn't even fight for them. They literally went on Annie's live and was happy about it.
I mean, to the point where the clothes that Courtney left behind, you know, Grandma's washing them up for Alyssa, saying, here, wear this. Would you put on another woman's clothes? Borrowing a shirt from a girlfriend's one thing, but would you?
Yeah. And Alyssa's getting changed in the garage, where they took and literally taking stuff out the box and putting on Courtney's clothes to go home in. Like, she's got no shame. Like, literally took off her own dirty t-shirt that was all crumpled and covered in sweat, because obviously she helped move all the stuff into there to the storage thing. And she literally takes it off, puts it on top of a wheelie bin and leaves it in that garage. And then obviously Courtney's going to video and take pictures. And then she's gone into her boxes and taken out clothes and put them on.
Yeah, and the nasty asses getting it on in the camper while that little girl's in there on her tablet or whatever, or she's allowed to go back and forth between Grandma and Grandpa's house and the camper. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Blonderella. I mean, the whole thing is sick, and these aren't like young 20s people, okay? She's 30.
Alyssa, I think she's
42.
In my mind, Alyssa is the same as Mike. Like, anybody knowingly comfortable to get in a relationship with him for all the wrong reasons, because all she's seen him is a clout person. And she was on our side. She used to speak out against Michael. So she knew what was up, and she knew the whole thing was a complete hoax.
She was very outspoken. But now that he's got this sister wife plan, honestly, I think she can go along with it. I mean, her own family is saying, until you do the right thing, you will not see your children. What is she doing? Is she doing the right thing? Is she telling people where he is? Is she telling people what she knows? Is she going to be with her children?
I noticed since her mum basically did go berserk, things drastically changed within, like, who Mike was with and everything like that, because I think in my head her mum went berserk and she's like, no, this isn't a good idea. I'm going to take my ass home and I'm going to sit this one out.
Well, good. I hope she stays that way until he gets in her head again. I hope she changes her number. I hope she gets a job. I hope she takes care of her children. I hope she takes care of whatever tickets, warrants, whatever they say she has. Today's a good day to do the right thing, okay? Today's a good day. Yesterday might have been hard. Last week might have been hell. But come on. These are grown people. Snow says, I hope if she knows more, she will do the right thing. I can't imagine anybody being in that camper with him not knowing what's going on. I mean, unless he's doing everything by text and keeping it quiet.
She is technically, how do I even put this, a Michael Long employer. Like, there's paperwork that Michael writ out with what Alyssa's role is, her job, her role in this entire thing, and it's written in, like, there's pictures of that. Like, she knows, and she sat there, and she's been there when the whole plan has been put in place, the same way Courtney knows, and the same reason she was contacted from the court, because they knew that they had to make initial plans way back. And Courtney does know the people that he spoke to. And she has helped, and there's a pretty good likelihood that he is with one of those people.
It's all a hoax. Every bit of it. And you know who pays in the end? Michael will be fine. He'll be fine. Alyssa will be fine. Sophie pays. Sophie pays. Sophie will have to eventually go to school because I don't believe for a minute her education has not suffered this last year. I don't see Mike or Courtney or Alyssa or Jeannie or John keeping up on her schoolwork. Yes, I know COVID was going on. No one's going to tell that child no, and no kid wants to sit there and do their schoolwork. Eventually, she's going to date. She'll get married. She will be a mother. All of these things are going to stick with her. And she has learned from one of the finest how to manipulate everything she wants in this life, even if it is using what they consider the corrupt government, because he knows how to weaponize it. And he knows there's enough untrust in our government that people will listen to him. And that's why he got the Save the Children people and wrote, produced, and directed a video starring his daughter and got his way for a while. But when he didn't get his way last week, here we are. Yeah, Audie, did you have a question? I missed it. Let me go back up. Audie, what's your question? Let's see if I can find it. Marlena was actually in our group for a little bit. That lasted maybe 2 or 3 days. And I blocked her from the group. The only reason Alyssa was in Long Hoax is because I was asked to put her in there. No, not by Brandy. Brandy was actually against it. And I was told they weren't together anymore. And within a few days, she was in there and she called Kelly a whore. Yeah. Does she know Kelly? Or is she so deep in the Kool-Aid and the
What I don't get is, why do people just, okay, so you've gone from saying Kelly's this like an amazing mother, she needs her kids returned and all this other stuff, because she was in my group as well. Then fast forward, she's with Mike a few days, like literally a few days, and they just listen to this man. The same thing that happened with Courtney. Courtney got with Mike, and then it was like a hate Kelly thing. Then Alyssa gets with Mike, and now it's like they hate Courtney and Kelly. It must just be like the rules or something.
Hang on, Kaylee. Audie has a question.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Audie.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
So I couldn't type it out again. So I feel like it was answered. Somebody in chat answered. I think the butterfly effect answered it for me, but I just wanted to make sure that I'm understanding this correctly. So there was not any sort of court appearance hearing on Wednesday. It was just a scheduled custody exchange. You know, supposedly that's what was taking place that day. There was no
Not for what I was told.
No, there was a court. So a court hearing happened, and at the end of that court hearing, they deemed Michael to be unfit to have Sophie in his care. And the people around him, his mum, his dad, they just didn't want Sophie staying on the property any longer whilst the final hearing was coming up. And
Okay.
they ordered Michael to turn Sophie over to a third party, and that was put for Wednesday. Michael never gave Sophie to that third party. Instead, he left.
So the hearing was prior to Wednesday, not on Wednesday.
Well, that's the thing. The hearing was around, in and around then. We just don't know when.
Okay.
Because no one, we don't have any access to that.
Okay. So there was
we just know that hearing
somewhere
happened because of the psych evaluation came back.
Okay.
An emergency hearing was requested due to concerns that ad litem and the people that did this, that had the psych evaluation results.
Okay. So Wednesday was the exchange as a result of whatever happened at that hearing.
Yeah.
He was to surrender her on Wednesday, but just never showed. And now we're here. Okay. Just want to make sure that was confirmed, because I keep hearing, nope, there was no hearing since January or since the winter, and this was just a scheduled exchange. And then I heard there was a hearing, and I just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah, no, there's been several emergency hearings throughout June and obviously July because of emergency motions that has been filed, like emergency hearings. And Michael is just saying, like, it's a psych evaluation, they're biased, they're all against him, and just crap.
Oh, we lost her. Pamela wants to come up. Hi, Pamela.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Pam.
Good morning.
You're echoing a little bit. Do you have your YouTube open?
I do.
I seen Blonderella's comment.
Everything seems to be weird in my car. Hold on. Is this better?
She does have a gal, Blonderella. There's an attorney ad litem for her.
Is this better?
But of course, Blonderella, that person is also part of the corrupt system. Now, mind you, the little girl went in there and he had her wired. So
isn't he trying to sue her as well? Like, I swear I've seen that. Like, she's been named
in his lawsuit.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because when that other hearing happened, the day when so that there was another hearing, and literally one day before that hearing, then Mike makes this massive lawsuit, and he's named every single person in it, including the judge and everybody, because he's saying they're all biased and they're all just like a corrupt system, and they're all just plotting against him.
Allie Jo, I don't think any of us could say that she has been missing since Wednesday. I think the best that we know is that she was supposed to be somewhere on Wednesday, and she never got there.
Yep.
And when the cops came, they could only find Jeannie.
Yeah, we don't actually know that she didn't.
Allie is saying, do we know that she was missing from before? He could have had her hid before.
Yeah, we don't. That's the thing. We don't know, because obviously we just know that the judge made that order and Kelly took that order to the police. That's all we do know. And then they got more stuff that was needed.
And no, you're right. Kelly is listed in the suit. And he's suing everybody that has been involved in this case, including Kelly, Jake. He's also suing Kelly's lawyer and Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace is my favorite.
Oh my God.
I just want to warn everybody not to trust Alyssa either. I think to give Alyssa as much credit as you would Casey. I mean, there's just so much evidence that she was into it. She was in the father's rights group. She has this selfie with one of the founders of it, and that secret Facebook page. Like,
Yeah.
Alyssa has all sorts of motive and need to lie to you guys about who she's with or whether or not she's still with Mike. You know, I would just hope that people are holding. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole, but I hope that people are just giving her some space, because there's just too much weirdness going on around her too, you know? And to top it off with, I mean, I'm not being judgmental, but she literally inserted herself into this situation on her own accord, you know? And isn't that enough reason to like question her?
There's a million reasons to question a lot of these people. And like, you know, right here, a corrupt gal. Okay, a GAL, that's a fast track to being a judge. All right, they don't want any kind of corruption on their record. Good egg at Janine. I've heard some people theorize that he filed that civil case just to make all of his enemies' information public. Well, and that's a good way to do it, especially under a gag order.
Because that's what Lisa suspected as well, and so did like Lisa and people around her. They literally suspected that was the motive behind it. Because I couldn't understand it. I was like, what is wrong with this man?
Just roll with it. A gal is basically an attorney for the child.
And Michael even said on a live stream once that Alyssa was something in this entire thing. Like, no, she isn't my girlfriend. She had a role in his like organization in his head.
And his trophy wife, but he wants sister wives. I'm actually wondering if he brought this up to Courtney. I don't see it out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, I'm with her, but I still want you to, and we're all gonna, like, he wants this whole, you know, he calls where they live the compound. You know, he's got this, he's got to build up a community, just like he did with Sophie's Army, the GoFundMe. He's got to have a team with him. And for someone like him, it also takes women around him to do his dirty work, like Courtney has done, like he somehow got that woman from 10 to Life to do. I can't believe the stuff that she said. I have a very hard time believing that this Annie woman is that way. She was calling for Kelly to be waterboarded.
Mm-hmm. I do think Annie is taking it serious, though, this situation, because she's even went and shared several things now in her Discord. Like, obviously, Annie's done, like, awful things, but at least she isn't reacting the way some other people are and telling people she isn't missing. And then the next day saying she is technically missing, but she isn't missing.
No, you're exactly right. So, I mean, it's okay. It's okay to do the right thing today. It's okay. Because there have been so many stories, this circus, manipulation, it's been insane. So just do the right thing today. I mean, if people have texts, you know, where it could help Kelly reunified with her daughter and her daughter gets healthy, wouldn't that be the right thing to do? I mean, Kaylee, you've been extremely transparent. You're like, this is what I was told.
Yeah, I have, yeah. I've literally even said sometimes, like, I even said, I don't care. Kelly Long emailed Katie, and I had it confirmed through Lisa. So I'm not going to backtrack and take that statement away because Clara wants to now bait Kelly and stuff like that. I think anybody that is trying to bait or any of the drama that's happening and stuff like that, and people that want to go live and say that she isn't missing, let them do what they want to do and the damage they want to do, and just don't even entertain it. And if people like you or Katie carry on sharing that she is missing, like, only good is going to come from it, and all the other stuff, if it gives it no attention and no light, it just helps.
She is missing. We had a case a few months ago. It's a girl named Abby in Alabama. We had a group for it, and she's an equestrian. You know, she does the horseback riding. She goes to the stables. She was going to college. After a couple days, they realized she wasn't missing. She just wasn't in contact with anyone. Okay, that's unaccounted for. We had another case, Gemini Johnson. She basically was having a hard time at work. Some other things were going on. I'm not going to get into it. Went to Louisiana for the weekend. People were like, oh, she's missing. She's missing. And she wasn't. She was like, look, I just needed a break. Okay, those are adults. Sophie is not an adult. Someone needs to know where the child is. And if it's just 3 people and her mother's not allowed to know, then we go back to the Cash Gurnon case, where the twins were being hidden by Trevor and his mom at Monica's. And where's Cash now? Dead, murdered. Don't say these things don't happen. Yeah, you're right, Blonderella. If there was no missing persons report, I mean, the whole thing has been bizarre since day one. Actually, what we consider day one is the video, but it went on way before that, because when I saw what they had on Zoom, the family court hearing in September of last year, it was obvious by the judge that they had been in front of a judge several times. Yeah, you're right, Snow. I would believe in his prior court documents. During a complex custody case like this, I would imagine they would stipulate he can't leave the state with her. Yeah, he's left the state. Well, I really hope when the dust settles, whenever it does, I don't know when it's going to settle, that Kelly's attorney decides to hold a few people accountable for the damage they did to Kelly and her family and the danger that she was put in. I think we've discussed it in group a couple times. Will anything happen? A lot of people said no. And Kelly may not want to mess with it. She just might want to have her family healthy, happy, kids getting educated, raising them properly, and be done with it. Be done with his nonsense. All right, guys, unless anybody wants to hop on or has any more, comments or questions or anything like that, I'm going to start winding this down. Yeah, share the poster. And I'm not big on fundraisers, GoFundMes, anything like that. If you have, some money to spare, if you could help with Kelly's attorney, I think she would be much appreciated. I agree, Blonderella. Cut her losses and move on. It's been too much. And the more she pokes that tiger, the more paranoia he gets and the more ideas he comes up with. All right, guys, I'm going to wind this down. I hope everyone has a super great day. Thank you to everybody that was moderating the chat. Thanks, Kaylee, for coming on. Thanks, Audie. Thanks, Pam. Thanks, guys, for being here early in the morning. It wasn't as early as yesterday, but, it is what it is. All right, you guys, you have a great day.